What's up? What's up? Welcome back. So, I did a video earlier today, and it was about accepting everything as being true because that's something that could free you up from trying to prove yourself, from trying to argue with other people, and trying to change anything that you know is not true about you, anything that's like a lie. Because something you never have control over is what other people believe. And although we know that, there's certain topics that come up or certain things that we hear about ourselves. And at times, I know I caught myself before trying to argue and like prove that this thing is not true about me. And I prided myself on being able to win arguments. I'm really good at proving my point, but I got to feel deeper into like what was taking place. And that's why I really wanted to do this video, because this realization of allowing everything to be true, you can feel the sensation in your body of the release, of no longer trying to fight against reality. And what I mean by that is, again, what other people believe. That's actually a reality as well. They said it. Whatever the thing that was said, it's done. And you can feel in trying to argue for it or argue against it, you're pushing back and forth against something that already exists. There's no one doing it. It's done. And in trying to change it, it's almost like if I catch it early, maybe it won't get to other people, or maybe. But what's at the deeper layer of that is like not wanting other people to believe this thing about you. Well, some people do, apparently. And what? So what? As long as you know what's true for you, you can move according to that. If you don't know what's true for you, maybe this thing happened to help you get clear with that. And now you get to have like a sense of appreciation for it. But once you allow yourself to just know, okay, all you have control over is your attention, your focus, your energy. That's the main thing that you have power over, which is actually the most powerful thing in existence, because nothing exists, nothing can exist in your world without your attention to it. And with that in mind, you get to now be selective with what are you giving your attention to. Because in you having this back and forth with whoever about this topic that you don't want to be true, you're actually making it more true. You're giving it so much attention, and now you're drawing their attention to it. You're actually drawing other people's attention to it. You're making it more and more and more and more. You're giving it your power. If you just know what's true for you, then you get to move according to that. But in order for that to happen, a two-way flow of energy has to take place. And the energy is what's true for you may not always be true for other people. And also what's true for other people may not always be true for you. With that allowance of both realities to exist, your reality and everybody else's reality, you can agree to disagree. And then you can feel, just in like hearing that short phrase of like agree to disagree, you can feel the take place. And again, just like reflect on the very things you even want to be true within yourself about yourself, right? Your fears and your anxieties. If it's true, so what? Now what? More than anything, now what? Not even so what? Now what? It's true, okay? There's still another moment. There's still another day. Life continues on. Just because something is true doesn't mean it's the end all be all. There's a following truth. And in realizing that, you just pull your attention back away from the thing you don't want to be true, either with other people or even with yourself. There were times I noticed within myself, and this is what brought me to this different level of acceptance, where I didn't want to accept the fact that I was struggling with money before. When I was having a tough time, and like I could only have a place if I lived with a roommate, and I always had to have like a beater as a car, like all these like ways that I had to settle. And I just kept fighting it and fighting it, and I didn't want it to be true, and I didn't want it to be true, until it was just like, okay, something else has to change. Well, everything has to change, but like something has to change in my approach. In order to experience, it's something I kept telling myself, and it's like an insight I received that helps me all the time. In order to experience different, we must do different. In order to do different, we must be different. And I got to a point where I kept feeling the sameness, the same feeling, the same uncomfortable feeling within me. I realized I'm not actually arguing against what's a lie or what's not true. That's not really what's taking place. I'm arguing against what I don't want to be true. And when I saw that, it's like, okay, I don't want it to be true, but the fact of the matter is, in this moment, it is. And in no longer fighting against it, now I could just accept if it's true in this moment, what do I want to do next? And you can feel in just allowing the thing that you're fighting against, that you don't want to be true, to finally just be true. Pay attention to your body and just feel the just take place. Because you've been running this marathon of like trying to defeat reality. And if it's with other people, the reality is they said whatever they said. They believe about you, whatever they believe about you. You cannot change that. You have no control over it. But what you do have control over is your attention. Once you say, okay, it's true, it is what it is. It's true. Fine. What do you know to be true about you, though? Your follow-up is going to be way better than what just happened or what people say to be true about you. Your follow-up is going to be next level. It's going to be beyond what people could even comprehend, because if you were able to do so many things with your attention, focus, energy, just your power just so spread out, trying to like defend against certain things and move forward in life, what are you going to do when all that power is back within you? It's incomprehensible to everybody else around you, but you know your truth. You know what you're capable of. You know what you're going to do. You're going to blow everybody's mind. You might even blow your own mind, because you forgot how powerful you are. You almost grew accustomed to inching forward with your attention and energy and power and focus all spread out. But now I'm calling it back of like, fine, that's true. Yeah, that's true too. Everything is true. Because you know what? Those truths can exist along with yours. And with you tapping into your truth, you're unstoppable. Because you're not arguing for it anymore. You're not trying to prove it. You just created the opening within your reality of everything being true, which also includes everything you know yourself to be capable of. You're not worried about that being a lie, because lies don't exist. Everybody has their own truths. So that's something that, as I allowed myself to feel that level of acceptance and not trying to like save face anymore, whether that be with myself or other people, and just really calling all of my power back through attention, focus, and energy. Man, the physical sensation of it felt incredible. But the clarity that followed, the creativity, just the effortlessness that comes, like there's times now where I'm having sessions with people or I'm leading up to it, and I didn't realize there was a level of effort I had behind things that I thought were effortless, but they just had less effort than everything else. But now I'm calling my attention and power back and focus and energy. And I keep wording it in those specific ways because it highlights for me, and that's what I'm looking to pass on to you, as to where like the different sections of your power, because there's attention and then there's focus and there's energy. Same words, but slight different things come to mind when you use them. And you get to see where you get to pull your power back from. So that's why I'll say the same thing with different words, because different parts of your reality come to mind when you hear them. And just the level of effortlessness that I move in now at times is weird. I'm not gonna lie, because there's times I'll be going to a session, I'm just like, I'm used to having to like concentrate through something, but I don't have to do that anymore. And it's being able to hone in on that same flow state that I knew how to tap into, I discovered how to tap into through fighting. But what that highlighted within me was finding peace in chaos, finding my flow state and needing chaos to do it. Which then, on the flip side of that, I was finding chaos and peace. But then now, in truly experiencing effortlessness, like being able to tap into like that flow state and not needing to concentrate through anything or block anything out, I can just be in it. It's weird sometimes. And I highlight sometimes because I'm just reminding myself it was the beginning parts of experiencing effortlessness. I'm very particular with the words that I use because I know I'm always listening to myself and I'm always paying attention to me. You can refer to it as the subconscious and conscious. I see it more as, because all those subconscious and subconscious and unconscious, no, subconscious and conscious makes sense. I like to make things very tangible and practical. So I see it as like Mike is always listening to me. And if I pay attention, right, the same way like a kid is always watching you. A kid is always paying attention as to like when you're saying things, why you're saying things in that way, and they pick up on those habits. So I pay attention to the words that I'm saying because I know Mike is paying attention to those habits. And it's something like even like with my aunt and my mom. When they saw, I vividly remember this. I think I was like 11. That's what just came up to mind now. I would see them and like they're cracking jokes and like they're hilarious. But instead of saying like that's really funny, they would always say, "Oh, you're so stupid. Oh, you're so stupid. That's so funny." And I say that a lot. And like I've become very aware like the most recent years that I'm saying like the past 2 years, I will say like, "Oh, that's very funny. That's really funny." Because I get what I'm saying when I say, "Oh, you're so stupid." But I again, I'm noticing just the little things that's being said, why it's being said, and how I feel about it, right? Because I don't want humor to be seen as a stupid thing. I want humor to be seen as a funny thing, to where I'm sharing laughter and joy. And again, it's just little ways that I know Mike is always paying attention to everything that I do. And although I have inside jokes with him, and I know what I mean when I say oh, you're so stupid, but I'm also aware as to other ways that I use that word. So it's just little nuances and little layers that I'm going like beyond, beyond, beyond with me. Because as I like to say a lot, I'm fluent in speaking me. I'm fluent in speaking Mike. And that's what I help people do. Like I help people become fluent in speaking them. And yeah, that's why I think it's very important for everybody to like find their words as to like what makes sense for them. And like a short example, and we'll transition with this. I had a client, and I work through getting people to tap into sensations. So I get people to deconstruct their thoughts, to see how they're defining those thoughts with an emotion, deconstruct the emotion to see how that's being defined through a sensation in the body, deconstruct that sensation, and then rebuild it from there through their own definitions, because we take on other people's definitions as to what our emotions mean to us and what the feelings mean within our bodies. We take on other people's definitions of that. And I help them hone in onto clarity. And for him, he describes the feeling as zip. Now, to you and me, like everybody else, like zip, that won't mean anything. But to him, it's the feeling of clarity. So yeah, just a fun little exercise for you to like rename your emotions. Whatever makes sense for you. You're the only one feeling it. So develop your language of speaking you so fluently, so eloquently that you know your truth. You can move according to that. This was good. I like this. Be sure to drop a like, comment. Definitely let me know. Let me know some emotions that you redefine. I'm always interested by that because it's like a peek into people's world. And yeah, share this with some people. Share some food for thought. And oh my God, I just realized my mic was not on. Shit. I hope you can hear me. I'm hoping you can hear me. If you did, the audio might sound a little different on this one. Fuck. I don't know if I want to record this whole thing. I kind of was in flow. All right. Well, I held the fork the whole time. Shit. Well, if the audio went through, I'm gonna post it anyway because I'm gonna trust everything that came through in the way that it did. I'm wishing you an amazing day. If it's nighttime by you, I'm wishing you an amazing night. I'm hoping this audio picked up the entire episode. I'll put noise cancellation or something. I'll do something. I just hope it went through. And I'll catch you later.